Hello and welcome. Today I'll be explaining how to make this moss stitch cap for a baby of 4-year-old. The things that you will need to make this are pink and white color yarn. This is acrylic 4-ply yarn. I have used number 9 and number 10 knitting needles for this. I have used both the needles. You will also need a sewing needle. So let's start making this beanie for a 4-year-old. To begin with the beanie, on my number 10 knitting needles, I have cast on 108 stitches and I will start with the K2P2 ribbing. Knit 1, knit 2, yarn front and purl 2. 1 and 2. Again yarn back, knit 2, yarn front, purl 2. I will continue to make K2P2 ribbing for at least 2 inches. I have completed making K2P2 border for 2 inches, that is for 15 rows. Now I am on the right side. Now for the next rows I am going to use number 9 knitting needles. Now for the next row I will start with slip 1 and knit all the stitches. End of first row, I leave this number 10 needle and I'll continue the next row with number 9 needle. Next row on the wrong side, purl all the stitches, slip the first one and purl all the stitches. Repeat these 2 rows for 2 more times. After 4 rows, I am going to shift to pink color. Slip the first stitch, knit second, keep the yarn front, purl, yarn back, knit, yarn front, purl. Basically, I am going to follow the moss stitch pattern for the next few rows. At least for 6 rows I will be doing the moss stitch pattern. I will be making knit 1, purl 1 with this pink color, and on the wrong side I will make purl 1, knit 1. It depends on number of stitch counts that you have taken for your baby cap. If your stitch count is same as mine, then you will also get the same. So I will continue with making knit 1, purl 1 for this entire row. Knit, purl and knit the last stitch. Going to the second row, continuing the moss stitch pattern, I will slip the first stitch purl wise. The second stitch appears knit, so I will purl it. Continue the pattern with purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit and purl. So continue this pattern, moss stitch pattern, for next 4 rows. Totally we are making 6 rows of this moss stitch pattern. We have done one. I am on the second row, and after this I will make 4 more rows. Here I completed with 6 rows of moss stitch design. Now I will make 2 rows of the same moss stitch design with white color, and then again 6 rows with pink color. So I will be continuing this moss stitch pattern by alternating the pink and white colors until the total length of 5 inches. We had done 2 inches of this ribbing, and after that we will make 3 inches of this design pattern. Now the work measures 5 inches. From this row we will start to decrease the stitches. First row of decrease, slip the first stitch, start to knit 1, second stitch, purl, knit. Now continue in the moss stitch pattern for 12 stitches. After 12 stitches, keep the yarn back and make a knit 3 together. Knit 3 together, Continue in the moss stitch pattern, 12 stitches, 1, 2, and 12. Now yarn front and purl 3 together. Yarn back, continue in moss stitch pattern for next 12 stitches. 1, 11 and 12. After 12 stitches, yarn back and knit 3 together. Yarn front, 12 stitches with moss stitch pattern, then a decrease, again 12 stitch with moss stitch pattern, then a decrease. Remember that while decreasing, once you get to make purl 3 together, once you get to make knit 3 together. If you are confused to identify if we have to make a knit 3 together or a purl 3 together, observe the 3 stitches, purl, knit, purl in this case, and on this stitch, so the next stitch what I have to make was a knit over this purl stitch. So what I will do is, I will take the yarn back and I will knit 3 together, because I want a knit stitch here. I want a knit stitch over these 3 stitches, as the next stitch I have to make is purl and the previous stitch here is purl. So in order to get a knit stitch in between these 2 purl stitches, I have to make a knit 3 together. Now if you consider these 3 stitches, knit, purl and knit, on these 3 stitches I have to get a purl stitch, as we have knit stitches on the either side. So if I get something like this, I have to make a purl 3 together. In this way you have to continue till the end of this row. Yarn back, knit 3 together. Yarn front, purl, 1 stitch, yarn back, knit the edge stitch. Going to the wrong side now. On this row, no decreases, just continue with the moss stitch pattern. First decrease row and a row of moss stitch pattern on the wrong side is done. Now even for the next 2 rows there is no decrease. On the right side and on the wrong side, 2 more rows, continue to make moss stitch pattern without making any decreases. On the right side, on this row we will make some decreases. Slip the first stitch. Continue in moss stitch pattern for next 10 stitches. 1, 2 and 10. 10. The last stitch I made was purl, so now I will decrease knitwise using the next 3 stitches. Purl, knit, purl, these 3 stitches I will use and make a knit 3 together. Continue with the moss stitch pattern for the next 10 stitches. 1, 2 and 10. So I just finished a knit stitch. I will keep the yarn front and make a purl 3 together using the next 3 stitches, which appear to be knit, purl and knit. Now I will continue the same decrease pattern. Moss stitch pattern for next 10 stitches, then decrease. Moss stitch pattern for next 10 and decrease. Continue this till the end. Yarn back, knit 1. Now on the wrong side, for the next 3 rows you will just continue to make moss stitch pattern without making any decreases. On the right side, next decrease row, slip the first stitch, continue in moss stitch pattern for next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 7 and 8. Then for the next stitch make a knit 3 together. The same pattern will be continued. 8 stitches will be made in moss stitch, then the next 3 stitches will be made as knit or purl 3 together. Continue this pattern till the end. After this decrease row, make 3 rows of moss stitch without making any decreases. On the right side, slip the first stitch, and for this row our pattern will be 6 stitches with moss stitch followed by a knit or purl 3 together. So the next stitch is knit 1, 5 and 6. Yarn back. Now I have a purl, knit and purl. which I will make as knit 3 together. So this pattern will be continued. 6 stitches in moss followed by a knit 3 together, 6 stitches in moss, purl 3 together, 6 stitches in moss, knit 3 together. Continue this till the end. And on the wrong side, make all the stitches in the moss stitch pattern without any decrease. Next row on the right side, slip the first stitch. Now continue in moss stitch pattern for next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yarn back. We have a purl, knit, purl, so make a knit 3 together. So this will be the pattern for this row. 4 stitches in moss stitch pattern followed by a purl 3 together, 4 stitches in moss stitch pattern and knit 3 together till the end. On the wrong side, we will just make the stitches as per the moss stitch pattern without any decrease. Next row on the right side, slip the first stitch, moss stitch for only 2 stitches, knit and purl followed by a knit 3 together. Two stitches in moss stitch pattern, purl, knit, yarn front and purl 3 together. This will continue till the end of the row. We will have 2 moss stitches in between every decrease stitch. Continue this till the end, and on the wrong side, without decreasing, we will follow the moss stitch pattern. Last row, slip the first stitch and knit 3 together. Knit 3 together, yarn front, purl 3 together, yarn back, knit 3 together, purl 3 together. Continue the same decrease pattern, knit 3 together, purl 3 together again and again till the end of this row. Purl and knit, last stitch. Now we will leave a longer tail with this pink color and fasten off, and we will thread in needle and take all the stitches on the needle. This is the wrong side. I will pass the needle through all the stitches one more time, and then I will stitch these edges together. The sides are being neatly stitched. Now the cap is ready. You can use the cap this way, or also you can attach small flower on that. These are 2 different flowers. I'm going to use them both together along with a small pearl in between. So I'll attach this much and my cap will be ready. The beanie or cap is ready now. This attachment is very simple, but still it adds a lot of glow to this cap. I hope you understood how to make this beanie with me. Thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe for more videos.